Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. Too late in the game for the Ouroboros or a real snake to really show up. We're at 90% completed. With any amount of luck, I should be able to finish the game here. Let's look at everything first.
There was an ancient tree behind Lucifer.
So,
the tree of knowledge?
The thing is, we're inside this cave and we are at what looks like a sound stage or a movie prop stage, movie stage, not the real Eden. And
a huge statue of Lucifer framed one side of the altar.
We don't, and this guy wants to raise Lucifer and destroy Jehovah. And I can't go to the left of the screen to see Jehovah. There's a dead bush here. Here is possibly the angel telling them that they're not supposed to be here. But where's the flaming sword that was supposed to stop people from getting into Eden? So I need to start this dead bush on fire, I think.
The lighter had run out of fuel, but the flint could still make sparks.
Of course, this is...
Charles, what are you doing?
I kind of have a plan.
Well, I hope it works.
We need to burn these vines. Let's see, fuse wire on the vines.
The fuse wire wasn't strong enough to pull down the vines.
Fuse wire with this.
They didn't go together.
Fuse wire with the dead bush.
I needed a better idea.
I've got a flaming bush. Handful of figs for the vines.
That wouldn't work.
Handful of figs for the ladder.
That was almost a great idea. Almost.
Let's spray this on this. See what happens.
I love the smell of bread in the morning.
Well, that worked. So we can now cross. So, I don't see any fruit on the tree of life. And here's Jehovah, and here's the
but you're too late. No one can
tree
stop
of
now.
something else.
Do something, George. He's crazy.
Is this gonna really bring up a giant serpent?
Not crazy, as you will soon see.
Let's see. Eden Tabula Veritas.
You'll destroy us all!
Ha! The ancients who built these statues feared their powers, but soon I shall control them.
So very much like Broken Sword 1, there's a big change in what we thought we were going to find here. Frankly, the game didn't really even bother to tell us what we were going to find, but it'd be interesting if a real Lucifer was going to be raised, but I don't think so. This looks like just some ancient technology that we've seen several other examples of this.
What are you going to do with the tabula?
It is the key that will awaken the two gods. Upon my command, Lucifer shall smite Jehovah with his power, annihilate him.
And so now I have to decide. Can I save the game right now? No.
You can't destroy Jehovah. You'll shatter the balance. You'll plunge the world into chaos.
Apparently
No.
I don't decide.
Ruled by Lucifer, man will be liberated to realize his greatest ambitions, to realize his full potential. But this isn't the place to discuss these things.
Why can't we do that now?
Suggest?
How about eternity?
George!
I kind of would be happy if George did die right there. And this guy's floating.
Homo.
And so we do this on Lucifer.
I needed to cross the ladder first.
So now we're just playing as Nico. And is there really a time limit on this? I don't think so.
Nico, you must stop him.
Eva, what do we do?
George
I don't know.
is still alive.
But your father said you had the answer.
He used to talk about pure light. Pure light? What does that mean? I don't know. That's what he said. Pure light, white light, will conquer. Charles!
So, Mop, Jehovah?
Look at this, Nico.
I think you have an insatiable habit for collecting things, George. A massive statue of Jehovah framed on
Why
one
did I
side
get
of the
that
altar.
response?
Green light shot from the orb in his hand. A massive statue of Lucifer towered over the altar. Blue light shot from the orb in his hand. Before Langdon had started doing his thing, the tree had appeared lifeless. Now it was pulsating with energy.
So I can't even see the Tablet Veritas.
Nico, thank God you're here. We must stop Langdon before it's too late. What's going on? He's inserted the tabula. Powers are rising.
So, Mop on Langdon.
Nico! Pure light! Get me light!
Get me light. Let's see. But what am I gonna blow up? The two trees? Dynamite on Jehovah.
That would probably have brought the roof down.
TNT on Lucifer.
Nico! Hurry! Please, light! Pure white light!
Large crack.
Crack ran across one side of the altar. An ethereal light shone from the crack.
Okay. So TNT on the large crack. At the very least, I will say George is giving us an indication
Eva,
of what we're supposed to be doing. There was no rope tying Eva there. She just kind of shimmied.
That's it, Nico.
Rise up, Lucifer. Smite Jehovah.
This is the first close-up of Langorm we've even seen.
God! Focus the light. Pura lux pictura est.
Jehovah must be destroyed. The world will embrace Lucifer. What gives you the right to stand in his way?
Free will. That's what we bring. Humanity brings free will. The final piece of the Trinity.
Again, why not just make a movie or a cartoon about this? This would probably work better that way.
Run!
Very odd statement, I would say, theologically, to say that humanity is on the same level as Jehovah and Lucifer, and that they bring free will.
While you've been laughing about, I've been thinking about supper. How does a nice barbecue tickle your fancy?
I think you'd better have this, don't you? My father gave his life to find it. Now I must spend mine protecting it.
How?
Yeah.
Where will you go?
How about you just destroy the thing?
I have a house and a chapel to restore. And a new life to build as a Gnostic leader.
And see, she's not animated very well in that bright sunlight.
You know, Nico, this time I really wasn't sure if we were gonna make it.
And George doesn't look
The
that
gods
good
on
either.
your side.
This
Or
is just a
whatever they
cheap
found
cutscene.
Maybe you're right.
You know, we make a great team.
We could be more than a team.
Oh?
Before this all started, back in Paris, I was just about to invite you out to... Oi! Dinner is served.
Man, they never can get anywhere.
What's on the menu?
Doner kebabs with a spicy fig compote.
Wait, Donna as in... Donna?
But Nico, I thought you loved goat.
Why? Why would you kill the goat? Well, one more disappointment for disappointment. So here, Charles Cecil, I would say, is probably the most person to blame here. He's getting, it seems like, his family to be production assistant. He's working on the story concept for 3 other people, but programming and tools 4 people. Revolution Software is just too small, and their story's the problem more than even their game, but in this case the game was a major issue too. I have to really just assume this is a case of old people who at one time could make DOS games that have no knowledge how to make a DirectX 11 or DirectX 9 even game that runs in Windows and actually works and doesn't crash, and somehow they figured out how to make a game work on iOS, which probably isn't too difficult, but I'm surprised they even got that far. And inherently they never really figured out how to tell a good story. 5 games we've been through with Broken Sword. I don't ever want to go through a Broken Sword 6. I don't ever want to replay any of the games again. They've all been frustrating in parts. This game, Broken Sword 5, has been the worst by far. This was kickstarted. There was $800,000 given by mostly normal people through PayPal and Kickstarter to make this game, and it's not even that good. And it's not because of the budget, really. It's because of a lack of skill of the people who were making the game. Here's this original song, Jasmine, that they were very happy about, and you can kind of see why. It's because it was written by somebody who worked on the game. And it's really because of Jasmine that we didn't get any just normal Broken Sword music until the 2nd episode. The entire first episode of this game, the part of this game that I imagine was completely finished by the original $500,000 that they had self-funded into this game, is so pointless and so different and so not connected to the story, really. People were totally killed. You can see the voice actors here. Toby Langsworth did almost all of the secondary characters. And Shelley Longworth, sorry, it did all the female secondary characters. So this really does just feel like a small project that was done in the back of a garage or something, and it shouldn't be. You shouldn't be at your 5th game in a series and still making an independent game that has so much problems. I've seen games made by one person that work way better than this, look way better than this. The 3D animation that they went for, totally pointless. Probably wasted a decent amount of production budget just to make it 3D when all they had to do was stick with updated 2D sprites that matched the background in some fashion. I just, almost every second in this game, I had no fun. I started saying, alright, maybe it'll get better, but by the time I was an hour and a half into it, I probably should have just asked for a refund if I was a normal gamer, because it just got worse and worse and worse, and more frustrating, and more full of moon logic where no player. I've played a lot of point-and-click adventure games. I know this. I played the 4 previous Broken Swords, and I still didn't know what to do or how they were. They wanted me to achieve goals. The goat came back way too often too. That is a tiny complaint, but just some repetition of things. The story ended horribly here. I'm half thinking that maybe after the credits there will be something here hinting towards that. For the entire series, they failed to put Nico and George together, and they really need to pick one or the other. Kill George off and have Nico go do 5 games by herself. You could still easily call it Broken Sword as far as the series. Broken Sword as a name only made sense for the first game anyways. Or just have George and Nico get together and be dating, be romantically intertwined. The fact that this will they, won't they, that would have been fine for the first game, and then at the end of the first game they should have said, yes, we're going to get together. But they were on the 5th game, and they still can't get together. And it's not written in a funny way, really. It's just written in a frustrating way. Who enjoys being teased in the romantic relations or romantic stories? Like, who would like that? They seem to also have this thing about doing comics and side promotions with their game for the remaster of Broken Sword 1, at least in this game, and I don't know why that budget is spent that way, frankly. And here we have Revolution Software's head of UK PR, head of German PR. Man. I hate to say something as mean, but Revolution Software doesn't deserve the success that they've had, and they don't deserve the Broken Sword series. And as we are 5 games in, the only hope I could ever have that would ever make me want to play Broken Sword game again is if they just sold out. This is the George Lucas scenario. I just need somebody like Disney to come in, or in the video game industry probably Electronic Arts or Ubisoft or somebody else, to come in and just buy their company's intellectual property. Not keep any of the people that work there. Maybe get some notes from the main writer, but frankly, for the Broken Sword series, even listening to the notes, it just needs to be like episode 7 where George Lucas just said, I'm out, Disney, you do whatever you want. And as soon as there was some fresh blood in there, Star Wars episode 7 was a blockbuster hit. And I think we could probably do something with that. Just take a little bit of whatever nostalgia is left for the Broken Sword series. Perhaps there are some people out there that played just the original Broken Sword 1 and 2, never got the console releases of 3 and 4, never heard about the Kickstarter for 5. As a Kickstarter, this game has probably failed. I seriously doubt anybody who kickstarted this would Kickstarter a 6 game. So that was probably Revolution Software's last hope. They don't, to my knowledge, have any other series under their belt that they could make money off of. So they all just need to retire and sell out and get out of the industry. And that's an incredibly mean thing to say, but every single element here hasn't been great. The programming's been awful. The game has crashed like crazy. The puzzle design's been awful. The story's been awful. The voice acting's been inconsistent with different people. So I wouldn't inherently say the voice actors need to get out of the industry, but maybe. And here, let's see how many people were probably disappointed by this. It would only be sadder if this list only goes on for a little while. If there's only like 100 people. They've got some kind of tier system here where they're saying Broken Sword Knight Commander. And here's the problem to the people who kickstarted and are getting credited under fake names and nicknames in between real names. So for instance, Fabian Graff there, maybe a real name, maybe a fake name. Who knows? Haisinji there, probably a fake name. Hamish, probably a fake name. Jonas, probably a fake name. Kaya Digital, probably a fake name. Lottie, well, maybe the real name, but not the full name. I would feel very uncomfortable having my name, either my stage name Rydo or my real name, which I don't tell people in a video game for all time to say. Particularly after playing this game, because I would be very disappointed with this game, and I'd be even more disappointed if I had funded it. Inherently, I don't suggest anybody ever Kickstarter anything at all. If video game creators in particular can't get the funding, it's because their ideas aren't good. It's because what they're selling won't sell and make money. The video game industry, as far as I understand it, is flooded with people pitching video game ideas. And the ones that get rejected are the worst and the worst, because even the ones that don't get rejected and get made into games often turn out to be horrible games. So imagine the worst video game you've ever played, which might possibly be this one, at least as far as point and click adventures. There's at least 1,000 other pitches for other games that were worse than this one that nobody was willing to fund. And when you get into Kickstarter, when the pitch goes from somebody who's been in the industry and knows what sells and what doesn't sell, and what turns into a good game and what doesn't turn into a good game, you can easily trick a normal person into thinking something sounds cool, because you can make things sound cool and then just not implement well on it. This is very odd because we have like 3 songs playing here that didn't play in the regular game. So why are we getting what feels like new music in the credits? I don't know what they really could have done with this story much more, honestly. The raising of Lucifer and all of that, like, it never got really explained. It never really made any sense. So they needed to explain things better. I suppose what I would have done to dance around this story is I would have had a book of Lucifer or a tablet of Lucifer or something like that, and then a book of Jehovah or a tablet of Jehovah. Some kind of artifact that was made up that embodied the power of Jehovah and Lucifer, and I would have had them be other elements you had to collect on top of the Tablet of Veritas. You can see how if you'd taken the Tabula Veritas and broken it into two separate things that you had to collect through two different areas, you could have traveled more, had some more puzzle, had some more conversation. It doesn't fix this game much if the places you do travel and the puzzles you do and the conversations you have are all bad like they were, but it would have made this game a little bit bigger and more varied. This game was actually incredibly long considering how bad it was. And I don't like the fact that the achievements have some hidden achievements here, because there's really no way to go back. There's no chapter system in here. Maybe if you had put a chapter system in this game, you could have made it longer. I kind of wonder... it might have been interesting if the Templars came back and over the course of 5 Broken Sword games you were investigating the same case, but no, that wouldn't really work, because you need a end to each game, and this did give at least an end. There's no question whether Langham is actually dead. There's no question whether they're going to come back, which is down to the Platinum members. This is a lot of people. I will applaud the people that funded this. They went in with good faith, and I could see why they would want to do that. Hoping for a new Broken Sword. I could see getting sold on that. And now we're on to like a 4th new song. It's like they wanted to sell a soundtrack on Steam, which apparently there must be some money in that. I could see why people would fall for this, but I feel like I'm sad for them. I feel like they were duped. I feel like they were ripped off. It would be interesting as a journalist if somebody better than me could go back and find each one of these people and ask them if they were satisfied with the game after that point. Or on any Kickstarter game, are you satisfied? Now, some of them, you'll certainly know that they weren't. Plenty of people kickstarted games and then it didn't get finished. There was certainly some that kickstarted games and got something completely different. Mighty Number 9 is a good example of that too. I would say Mighty Number 9 potentially is even a worse bait and switch than this, because even though this game is done badly, it is done in an attempted recreation of the style of Broken Sword 1 and 2. It's not the 3D of 3 and 4. You can see, even if it was publishers that forced them to go to 3D in 3 and 4, they still stayed at 3D for Broken Sword 5 instead of going with 2D characters. And there's internal struggle, I suppose, to make a good game. I think they just got lucky in Broken Sword 1 and 2, honestly. And 2 is not even that good compared to 1. I think they got lucky and they were a one-hit wonder of a company, and they're now milking it for all they're worth. And sure, nowadays there are tons of point-and-click adventures on Steam that don't even try, that are worse than this game, but this Broken Sword 1 could be considered a classic, and it's a real shame to see its name driven through the mud once again. I think I may have preferred just doing box puzzles, honestly, over this game. Just trying something different. I think the story in Broken Sword 3 was better than this one. And then as we're going through all of these credits, and there's way too many people. Now this is going to take forever. I may have to see if I can just hit escape. I approach this and I think about this, and it is very possible that somebody else has played this game, covered it, and loved it. It's possible that maybe something just early off irritated me. I fully admit I have been frustrated and irritated with this game since the first couple of hours, and it has been way more than 10 hours of gameplay. Way more. So I blame that on howlongtobeat.com telling me 10 hours. This is the completionist. It takes 14 hours is what they said. I think I've done closer to 18 hours of gameplay. So I don't know. Maybe I just got stuck on one puzzle too often, and it just set me spinning down a spiral of depression with this game. The one thing this game hasn't done, though, is it hasn't really made me decide to quit playing point-and-click adventures. So maybe one day I will finally have my fill of them. But no. I recently played Secret of Monkey Island remastered. That game still stands up fine. I recently played what is it, Day of the Tentacle remastered. That game works fine. Day of the Tentacle kind of has some a couple of difficult puzzles, but not really anything as close to the difficulty we've seen here. I've played the newer style of Telltale games that aren't really point-and-click adventures, and I've been okay with most of those. I've played the older style of point-and-click Telltale games like Sam & Max Save the World, and I was alright with those. And that was 3 seasons of Sam & Max Save the World, so that was an incredibly long 3 different games. Seems like some people donated multiple times and got put on different levels because of that, so these credits are longer than they need to be. At this point, they're not even doing the credits right. I understand wanting to have everybody's name on the screen. I get that, but make it 2 columns. Speed it up a little bit. This is going on forever. At this length, it feels like the real reward for owning this game may be to see your own name and listen to the background music. Credits shouldn't be going much more than 5 minutes. Even if there was like a cutscene or an animation after these credits, how would you see them? Like, I'm moving the mouse around, the cursor's not coming up. Well, sadly, I would like to get to the end here, but there's so many more letters. Oh, I want to hit enter and skip, but yeah, I guess we have to. Like, it's unrealistic. As unrealistic as it has been to solve some of these puzzles, to just try to figure out what the game even wanted you to do. It's unrealistic to sit here and go through the remaining credits if I can skip them. This is way too long. If they had just done double, even as at the point where you started doing Kickstarter, people just gone to 2 columns, maybe even 3 columns, and just sped up. Yeah, you wouldn't have even really had to sped up the crawl. Give everybody their time, but also don't waste the end user, the player's time, by making them watch all of this. Let's see. Alright. We can skip this with the down arrow. So apologies to anybody's name who funded this game, but sorry, apologies, but we've got to get through this. This is way too long for a single column at a slow crawl. Just another example of them not being able to program things. And even the music has gone full circle. We're back to Jasmine. So they didn't even have enough music for their own credits. I feel so bad for all these people. This is probably a couple thousand people like that funded the game to some amount. Maybe, well, we know that in total it was $800,000. So silver members, we're not even there yet. So $800,000 of normal people's money. That doesn't mean that 800,000 people gave $1. That's probably closer to, on average, 800 people gave maybe like $75. 800 people gave $1,000. That can't be right. 8,000 people gave $100 on average. That doesn't sound right either. It would probably be closer to 3 times that. So 24,000 people gave $333. No, that still doesn't make sense. They must have had somewhere around 100,000 backers that on average gave $8 in donation. We've seen some of the people have their name $7.77. So that would be my guess. And the screen feels like it's crawling now because of the credits. It feels like it's falling down, but it's an optical illusion that only I'm seeing. So, options, character gallery. Let's look at the characters here. Unimportant character killed in the first couple hours. Unimportant character who presents a opinion that never really helps anything. Unimportant reoccurring character. Unimportant puzzle character. Unimportant boss character, unimportant reoccurring character, unimportant character. Ronnie? Who was Ronnie? I don't even remember Ronnie. Is that the it's Nico's boss? See, we didn't even see him. Bassam, I thought he would play a bigger role. He didn't. Annette didn't play a big role. Bijou played way too big of a role. Marquez, kind of unimportant character to be in the game, in the story at all. I would have merged Eva into Marquez and gotten rid of somebody. Reoccurring character, but not really important. Lady Piermont, reoccurring character, not really important. There's a ton of characters here. The goat. Let's see. Adam the neighbor didn't need to be in the game. I almost wonder if some of these were Kickstarter people. It's like, get your name in the game, get your likeness in the game. Young Ramon, Sophia, the mother, didn't really play any part. Xavier didn't play a part. And Dwayne and Pearl and Kat. And see, this is the best you even get a picture of Kat. Like, so again, maybe there was a Kickstarter backer that looks like this, and she got her likeness in the game. Easily could have cleaned it up and reduced the characters by maybe a quarter. Let's see. And is there really anything else to say? No, because you can't even look at the achievements as it is. And because of that, like if I was to continue here, or just back here, there's 8 secret achievements that we missed, and that's it. No reason in the world I'd ever want to spend the time to get them. Yeah, and there's really not a lot to say, is there? Broken Sword 5 by far is the worst Broken Sword in the series, which is saying a lot considering Broken Sword 3 and 4 certainly weren't very good either. And the remasters of Broken Sword 1 and 2 kind of ruined those games, so you really can't have fun playing Broken Sword at all in 2017. It's one that can be easily skipped. The story, the background, maybe that would be interesting. Maybe if Revolution Software licensed it out to maybe 5 animated movies on Netflix, you could get something good there. Maybe a cartoon series. Maybe you could get something good there. But they need to be really hands off of it because obviously they don't know how to write their own characters to make them interesting and fun. Maybe people in the UK or Europe in general do love the Broken Sword series and they get it on a level that I don't get it, possibly. But as somebody in the United States, I don't like this game. I don't think gamers are going to like this game. And particularly Broken Sword 5 is bad. That's it for this series. It's been incredibly long. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. When you subscribe, click the notification bell to get notifications. And please friend and follow me on all the social media links down below in the description box. I have links for Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, and Battle.net. So whatever you're on, please follow me on that. That helps me too. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.